Today I wanted to go through and discuss a couple of ideas that I've been seeing floating around. One of the ideas that I've seen floating around is the possibility on certain people who are already involved in the Dream SMP potentially joining the Origins SMP. There's been a lot of people discussing this type of thing and who would actually do well here and why we want people to join. As well as a discussion of the fact that the team that is currently already in the Origins SMP are already well-rounded and don't take away the spotlight from each other. Tomorrow is my birthday and we're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the time of the end of tomorrow, so if you're new around here, it'd be highly appreciated, especially today, that you just go down there and hit the subscribe button. I love you guys forever. It'd be highly appreciated if we can do this. Either way, let's run back into the video and end the shillin'. Ever since the last group of people joined back in the beginning of April, last time that everyone was actively in the server, there's been a lot of ideas on who potentially might be next to join the server, as well as who might potentially do well within the server or who will probably take too much of the spotlight away from other people. So first, I'm going to start off with someone that we all should already know is going to join inevitably because they're already whitelisted, and that is Quackity. Whilst he hasn't said anything about Origin SMP as of yet, we all do know by now that he is set to join the server inevitably, considering the fact that he was originally whitelisted when the server first started back in February. Now moving on to other people that may potentially join, let's crack down why the current people in the Origins SMP server so far want to play Origins SMP. Most people of which were just looking for a different server to play Minecraft in with all their friends that didn't have a heavy lore associated with it just yet, which has been amply explained by both Tubbo and Rambo in a couple of different streams where they go over why the Origins SMP is a server that you just want to enjoy for the time being. There might potentially be some storytelling to it eventually, but it'll just be similar to how the Dream SMP started and we'll never get to the length that it is. But going through that just there, it automatically rules out Foolish for the time being at least. Mainly because right now, Foolish isn't really too involved with the lore in the Dream SMP. He has been involved in like 1 or 2 events, but most of the time he's just doing his own thing every single day. Mainly most of the time he was building his mansion. Now personally speaking, since Foolish isn't too involved in the lore, as I said a moment ago, and how he pretty much streams Dream SMP every single day, I personally don't believe we'll be seeing Foolish join the Origin SMP anytime soon. Another couple of people to move on to is George Not Found, SnapNav, as well as Dream. I personally think that these guys are probably not likely to join for a little while. Dream may possibly join eventually. Personally speaking, those guys will often draw the spotlight right towards them in anything they actually get involved in, and sometimes will cause the stance to only focus on them and not everyone else in the server. Right now there's a current good dynamic between everyone in the current server because everyone gets an equal amount of spotlight and love from people. Aside from Technoblade, which is getting an obvious extra spotlight because of the whole Origins Undecided thing. But I personally think for the time being that group isn't really likely to join. At least not yet. We may possibly see them in the future, who knows really. Moving on, we've got Connor or Connor E. Pants, who may potentially join the server eventually, mainly because of the fact that he is already in the Dream SMP, but Devon actually is in the Dream SMP because his own fans has a very heavy dislike to Dream SMP as well as Dream stans. Considering he is kind of friends with most people in both the servers, it is very likely that he may potentially just join in on the Origins SMP, just like Slimesicle did. Another person that I want to rule out for the time being is Carl Jacobs, mainly because of the entire Tales of the SMP thing that he solely runs most of the time. Obviously, his time and effort is mainly focused on that, as well as appearing in the occasional Mr. Beast videos. So I personally think as long as Carl Jacobs is doing the Tales of the SMP, don't think we'll ever see Carl actually get involved too much with the Origins SMP. There might be a day or two where he comes in and joins in and has a bit of fun, but then he probably won't join back too often. People we might potentially see join after their main role in the actual lore currently comes to an end for the time being is potentially Ant Frost, which it's very up in the air when it comes down to him. As me personally, I have no idea what would be the likelihood of him coming into this, but at this point in time he hasn't been too involved with the lore before the Eggpire stuff, and now with the Eggpire stuff going, he's very heavily involved. But what's going to happen after the Eggpire is officially over? We could also likely see Vicstar and Laserbeam potentially be a one-off person that joins in on the Origins SMP for like a day or two on a big stream day, just like they do occasionally in the Dream SMP, considering the connections are definitely there because they are in the Dream SMP, just they don't ever really log in anymore. And personally, there is always a possibility that they could join on this one just because it's more casual and more meant to be fun and less about the storytelling that the Dream SMP is majorly about now. People that I'm currently up in the air about that I'm not 100% sure if they will or won't join because there's not exactly enough good reasons for them to need to join is Eric, Skeppy, Purpled, and Puns. Now, Puns isn't exactly too connected via the Dream Team thing, as he was one of the people later added in the Dream SMP. But again, it's always potentiality that he would be one of the people that joins in with the rest of the Dream Team if they do end up joining. Which, as I said earlier, the Dream Team itself is like very unlikely, considering that they would take the entire spotlight away from everyone else, and I don't know how most people would react to it who don't want to like the things to be a bit more messy. Or they might possibly join and be just a bit more enjoyable to have within the server. It's really just up in the air with those guys. Jared is one of those people who's just there at this point in time. Like, he is kind of involved with the Dream SMP stuff occasionally. He's not too in it right now. I know I've seen him appear around like very recently a lot. So he's potentially up in the air, and whether he might or won't join, it's really just variance and dependency. Captain Puffy, on the other hand, I do personally believe we might potentially see her come and join the Origin SMP in the future. Like, the possibility is definitely there and the door is definitely open. But moving on from the Dream SMP people, let's think about the broader Minecraft community. One person we can automatically rule out regardless of everything is of course Stampy Longnose, who's said in the past that he doesn't like getting involved in SMP servers, that he's not there from the start of or has no control over how it goes. People from the Hermitcraft team may potentially cross over at points for certain bits and pieces, like Iskall's once appeared in the Dream SMP server and helping build an actual redstone door for Fundy, as well as the fact that S Major has gotten involved in a new series being made by a good collection of the Hermitcraft group, series known as Third Life. So there is definitely connections that are probably there linked between the two groups of Minecraft players. Might potentially end up in them joining in for one-time things or just having a bit of fun in the server with other people. There's also the possibility that we may have some bigger YouTubers like KSI, Jacksepticeye, or everyone along those lines potentially join for a one-off joke or meme type thing like they have done in the Dream SMP. With Ninja, Pokimane, Corpse Husband, KSI, Mr. Beast, and Lil Ars Next actually join in on the Dream SMP for like a single day, have a spot of fun with everyone. Honestly speaking, I believe the door for who could join the Origin SMP is wide open, considering the fact that there is no heavy lore around it and it's not requiring a heavy buttload of mod knowledge. All it requires you to do is just knowing how to adapt to a set of powers. But hey, we may never know who's next to join until the next big day of the Origins SMP. For now, we just get to sit back, relax, and watch everyone have a fun time building epic things and starting up tiny little stories of backgrounds of their character. Personally speaking, I see the doors as wide open as they can be for people who might join. Considering that we already have people from many different sectors of the community already joining the server, definitely leaves an open door for whoever who could potentially join. But hey, if anyone new's joined, I'm going to make sure to cover them in a video, talk about their potential origin, and talk about other things along those lines, so make sure to subscribe down below and leave a like while you're around there. Until next time guys, I'm going back to the dark place which I once came. Goodbye!